How to create perm events on NBA 2K. First thing we're going to do is I'm using NBA 2K Finder for running this event. Now what you want to do is you want to locate the prime area. You're going to want to find the host competition. From here, what you can do, you can enter if you want to run a league or a tournament. For this example, I'm using a tournament since it's easy to make a short form video out of. We'll do single elimination. We'll create the title. We'll do YouTube tutorial. We can include a banner URL, which I will pull up briefly. One key note for your URL, you usually want to copy the image address. Like I use Pinterest for most of my images because it makes it very simple to do this out of. We also have a verification system, so our auto moderator will check if the image is like NSFW material, so please do not upload that. You can include the season number, so in case your tournament or league existed before this, before using NBA Ticket Finder, you can add that. You can include a summary. So we'll do this is a YouTube tutorial. We can add tags, so we can do like a draft league. So if you want to have people get drafted within the league, that'd be a pretty cool feature. You can include the 5v5, since it could be pro and 5v5. You can do cash prize, which people can include like the entry fee. So like let's say you get a league, you want a $50 entry fee, and the pot can be like $500. You can do that. For now, it's 0 and 0, since obviously yeah, it's a tutorial. You can use the platform it's going to be on. I'll just do PC to keep it simple. I'll do the region is going to be NA East. So you can always do whatever you want. For total slots and max teams, I'm going to set it to 2. Since, again, I don't want too many people to join, this will be my tutorial, my 2 accounts that I'm running on here. For scheduling, I like to do auto schedule. So how this can work, the cadence is how many, like whether it's to be done by week or by day. So for example, if you do daily, you'll just pick, the max games in a day. The week will just be the max games in a week. So it's gonna be useful for leagues, for example. Like let's say in a league, hey, you have teams play 10 games in a week, right? You can select the days they're eligible, or you can just leave it up to a week so they can play whenever they want within that week. Or if you want to do day, like for example, let's say you want to have a weekend tournament, you can do Friday, Saturday, Sunday, and you can select the games played to 10, for example, 20, whatever you wanted to do. Then you can do conferences. I allow 4 conferences on here, kind of acting as divisions as well if you wanted to do that, which could be useful for leagues. You can do max playoff teams per league. You can allow interconference games, conference-based playoffs, or playoff buys. And then this is the amount of games played per playoff, so you can help generate a bracket really easily. So if you want to do single elimination up until the finals, you can make a best of 3. For now, I'm just doing best of 1 for everything, so it's literally just a single elimination, which I'll be using 2 teams for. You can include a Discord URL for your crew. You can include webhooks for notifications within the league. You can add a start time. I'm just going to do right now so you can see what I'm recording. But yeah, let's see, I'll do 3, I'll do, yeah, 3:59. I'll end it real soon. See, it's an hour long. That's, and that's you can create the league. And now if you go to dashboard, you will see the competition of YouTube tutorial. I can manage and I can have teams apply. So I'm gonna add this account is on my main account, so I'm gonna apply my main team. I said go to the public page. If I go view public page, so you can see areas in. I can list my players. So, for example, you can list I think up to 10 people on here. So and you want to include the in-game names of the players to help it link better with stats. This is very important. So I'm going to do this off camera and I'll cut back to when I have both crews into the league and show how you can accept the crews. Okay, I'm now back into the tutorial because I applied both teams. So you can see the rosters they submitted for each team application. So I can approve both, for example. And it'll show it approved. You can generate the schedule. And it will show, like, for example, the cadence label, the round label, the home and away team, which we can always swap home and away based on what like information is submitted. For the scoreboard, that doesn't really matter though. And you'll see other areas like box score review, stat link request, awards, and more. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to submit a scoreboard, for example. I'll show you how to do that. So crew owners can do this as well. You go to profile, you go to score submissions. You can see the match that's showing up right here. And it'll show you an example of what a scoreboard reference would look like. So I'm going to, for example, go to my files. I'm going to go to a sample score I've saved for now. It should just work like this. I'm going to submit the results. All right, and this means the submission was sent for review. And it should be as accurate as possible. Now I'm going to go back to the Pro-Am area. I'm going to view the tournament. And here's the box score submission. And you can manually review, for example, in case you think anything is incorrect. And it should show everything listed, whether it's plus minus, fouls, free throws attempted, free throws made, helps you get averages for stats, turnovers. And then if you want to submit the stats and improve them, you can press approve. Once that's submitted, it should start showing awards and generate stats. It might take a little bit to do that though. You go to the public page, it'll show that. So you can see stuff like award races, stuff like that. So for example, you can see the MVP award races. You can see the Rookie of the Year awards, Defensive Player of the Year, etc. And you can also like see different stats displayed, like for example, points per game, rebounds, assists, steals, blocks, etc. Like you can go through all of them. If there were multiple games played, you can do season highs, for example, which obviously since it's a one-game event, I just did. It's not gonna have multiple. You can leave a review for the competition, which can help the organizer grow. And it's really important as an organizer to have good reviews on your tournaments. And for example, see how it shows again plugged in is the MVP, the Rookie of the Year, and the Defensive Player of the Year is Mellis. You can manage, for example, if you like to manage, you can set manual awards, for example. So let's say I want to award the MVP. As you saw, the projections showed that plugged was the MVP. So I can give him the finals MVP, for example, as an award. And I can also award Mellis the Defensive Player of the Year. Like so. You also have like runner-up, other different awards. Anyway, I'm just doing this tutorial. And if a player wants these stats onto their profile, what they can do, they can go on our Discord, which I'll show briefly. And then they can run the /link command. And they can input like stuff like the tournament name. So for this tournament, it would be called YouTube tutorial. The season and the IGN of the player. So mine is just not CXB. Like such. I'll put in caps, but it should be all lowercase anyways. And you'll see that the stat request was submitted where the league staff can review it. So if I go back to the league, you can see that the request is sent and I'll decline, for example. But yeah, if I did accept, it'd be my profile. I'll show you an example of my profile right now from a previous tournament I did. And you can see my different stats I've listed. Anyways, NBA 2K Finder is a really easy platform to host these tournaments from. There's other features I didn't cover, which are in different videos, such as the OBS feature. So if you want to showcase some of those stats. If you found this helpful and you want to use these features for yourself, you can check out NBA 2K Finder. The link is in the description.